Hello guys and welcome to today's video. Just to clear things up, this is my very first time doing this kind of a video, so please, don't hate me too much, okay? Excuse any mistakes. Enjoy the video and let's get started. Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're still in the flight simulator though, but we are not doing a cinematic or time-lapse video today. We're doing a full flight video, and that means that I will basically guide you through the whole flight. I will show how I do things in the background, basically when you see those cinematic or time-lapse videos, what I do in the background. How do I prepare the aircraft, how do I fly it, and stuff like that. I hope you will enjoy this this type of videos. Maybe you can let me know down in the comments section if you like this idea or not. And today we are in Paris, Charles de Gaulle Airport, and we're flying over to Brussels. We are at stand Foxtrot 26, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so. And the flight time is just around 30 to 40 minutes on this flight, so it's a rather short flight. We are in the Airbus A320 of Brussels Airlines. Registration Oscar Sierra November Mike, and yeah, let's hop right into it. Alright, so I'm tuning in from the flight deck. We are here in our beautiful Airbus A320, and let's start. What we are going to do first is to go to the overhead panel right here, and we have to turn on our batteries, battery 1 and battery 2. I also connected the external power, so we can turn that on as well. There we go. And what we need to do now is basically click all the white illuminating switches or lights, which are the fuel pumps and also the packs and the crew supply. We can go on and turn on our navigation lights, turn on seatbelt and no smoking signs, and arm the emergency lights. You can also set the air conditioning, and what we can do as well, or what we have to do for our flight plan to work, is to set the IRSs to nav. So that's what we are going to do now. So IRS number 1, wait for it until the on battery lights light comes off like this. Now we can turn on the second one and the third one as well. Now it will take some time for the aircraft to actually align the IRS, which you can check right here. It says IRS in align, more than 7 minutes now, but that will come down as we speak. So what we can do next is to set our weights and fuel. So we have to turn on one of our MCDUs. I'm actually going to turn on both because we will need both of them. There we go. I like to do the weight stuff and all the setting stuff in the right one, and the actual MCDU flight plan performance stuff and in the left one. So let's hop into options and fuel. Let me just quickly check how much fuel we're carrying. So our block fuel today is 5,185 kilograms of fuel. And let's go to the payload page. We have 159 passengers on board, but since we're in the Airbus, we have to do it like this, or in the FSLabs Airbus I should say, we have to do it like this. So 59, so that's 159. And now the cargo. So we do not have much though, so I will just put 500 to the middle ones, maybe 500 to this one. Yeah, I think that's correct, yeah. 300 to the bulk cargo. Good, so this is done. And what we can do next is to go to init page. And we can start setting up our flight plan. So we are going from Paris, Charles de Gaulle Airport, which is Lima Foxtrot Papa Golf, to Brussels, which is Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo. There we go. You can go into IRS init and press the align on ref. Confirm the alignment. There we go. Our flight number, or call sign I should say, is Bell 3634. I just need to check the cost index. Yeah, let's put 30. It's like the good cost index to go for, I would say, for this airline. And our cruising altitude for today is flight level 240, which is not that high, but yeah, it's a short flight, so it will do its job. So now we need to input our 0 fuel weight and 0 fuel weight center of gravity and the block, which is the fuel, the amount of fuel we're carrying today. You can just simply click on it and click on it again to kind of input it quickly, which is good. So we just check if the block fuel is correct. Yeah, here you see the IRS in align is just 4 minutes now, so it's coming down nicely as we do all the preparation stuff. And we can go over to flight plan, go to our departure airport and departure. So the departure runway, and it's 26 right for departure, so we're going to select that one, and we are doing the Nurmo departure because our first waypoint is Nurmo, so we have to select that, and we are going for the Nurmo 5 Echo departure, which we can see here in the flight plan already pre-programmed, so that's good. And now we need to set up our airways. So we click on the last waypoint of the SID, which is normal, and we go to airways. Now we have to input our airways, so that's Uniform November 874 to CMB, and then we're going from CMB to Arnold via UZ, or Uniform Zulu 373, GPS primary, good, to Arvol, there we go, Arvol, and that's also our star, or the starting star waypoint, so that's done. So we press insert. Here we can see that everything is done, and now since this is a very short flight, we can set up our arrival as well. So we go to our destination airport, which is Brussels. We go to arrival, and we're landing on runway 25 right, so we're going to go for that one. Then the taxi time will be also shorter when we use this runway, so we're going to use this one, and we are going for ILS 25 right Zulu, and we're going for the Arvol 7 Bravo departure because that's the approach from the south, so we're going for that one. Press insert again. Here we have some discontinuities, so we're just going to delete them. There we go. And our flight plan is done. What we need to do now is to go to our navigation screen. So, and now we need to switch to the plan mode and check if our route is pre-programmed correctly. So, we're taking off from Paris. You can see the runway right here, and we're going like this. This is the departure, the star, which ends here at Nurmo, and then we're going to the north. Here's Arvol. Right there is our top of descent. And then we're approaching the airport from the south, as you can see. Then a sharp turn to the left and onto runway 25 right we go. So this looks very good. So we're just going to switch the mode back to the navigation screen, which is right there. We can also set up our cruising altitude because we are not using ATC for this flight, so we can go straight to our cruising altitude, which is 240. We can also set the altimeters, which is QNH is 1018. And yeah, now what we need to do is to go back into our MCDU and go to performance page and set everything here. So for the takeoff phase of our flight. So we're going for flaps 1 for this takeoff. So we put this there. Flex temperature of 55 and our V speeds. So we just input these there. So that's great. And by this stage, our pre-flight is now completed. So what we need to do now is to go to our overhead panel again and turn on our APU. There we go. We just need to wait for the APU to start and then we can disconnect the external power. You can see the APU spooling up right here. Alright, as you can see, the APU is now started and available. So we can go to our overhead panel. You can see here it says available as well. So what we can do, we can now disconnect the external power and turn on the beacon lights because we are just about to move. We can go into our options, disconnect the GPU, disconnect the ground chocks, and last but not least, call the ground crew to disconnect the jetway as well, or the jetway operator, I should say. Good. Alright, since everything is done, we can now go ahead and prepare for pushback and departure. You can see that the pushback truck is now driving towards our wheel. Alright, and we're doing nose left, tail right pushback, so we are going to select that.
Departure check completed, bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Release parking brakes. Parking brakes released.
All engines clear, start at will.
Alright, what we need to do now for the engine start is to flip this switch to ignition start, like this, and then flip the engine number 2 to the on position, and it will start spooling up. We can monitor it right here. As you can see, it's nicely coming up. You can check it from the wing view as well.
There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle.
Okay, so it pushed us like this, but that's alright. We can live with it. Set parking brakes, yes. And as you can see, the engine number 2 is now available, so we can go ahead and start the other one as well. And since both engines are running and available, we can go ahead and confirm good engine start to our pushback crew, and we can turn off the APU. What we can do next, when they are disconnecting the tow truck, we can set this knob back to the normal position, and we can also set flaps 1 for our departure. You can see it right here. So the flaps are in place, and the slots now as well, so it turns green. In this case, everything is fine, so we're good to go. Now we can perform our flight control test.
Left is clear, right is clear.
So let's do that. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, and neutral. And the rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. So this is working properly as well. We just need to wait for these guys to go away, so we do not use our taxi lights to, blow their eyes away, basically. So yeah, they will go back to our stand, and we can now turn on our taxi lights, runway turn on flights, and wing lights as well. I'm not completely sure if this is the way that Brussels Airlines do these or turn the lights on like this, but I'm using the Swiss kind of thing, so yeah, I found that logical, so yeah, I'm following the Swiss part, but yeah, since Brussels Airlines are in Lufthansa group as well, I think it may be accurate. I don't know. Maybe if you guys know, then let me know in the comments below. So, since this is done, we can turn on our nose wheel steering if it wasn't already, and we can go on and start taxiing. So, parking brakes released. We have clear field, so we can go start taxiing. Let's just apply some power, and we need to turn right here. Turn right here. I will apply some left engine power more than the right one. To just make this turn easier for us. There we go. And off to runway 26 right we go. What we need to do before takeoff while we're taxiing is to set the all the things we need to set for the takeoff phase needs to be done now. So we have like a little checklist here, which we can see on the upper eCam. So we need to set our auto brake to max, which is done. We have to set our speed brakes, spoilers, ground spoilers, to armed position. And we need to check the TO config, which is right here. And it's normal, but I forgot to turn on the PVS, which is done as well, and turn on the TCAS. which probably should have been done already, but yeah. As you can see, the cabin is now ready as well, so we can attend to cabin. I think this one is the correct one to press. And we are now taxiing towards our departure runway. One thing that I need to mention is that I'm probably not doing anything, not doing everything by the book. So if you feel like you want to correct me or something, then if I'm doing something wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments section below, or if it's like more serious, then you can contact me on Discord or get in touch via the Facebook page. I will be more than grateful to learn something from you guys. So that's just to clear things up. And to checklists as well. As you can see, we're not doing the checklists today because I usually do not do checklists when I'm flying these routes like for fun, let's say. I do checklists when I'm flying, when I'm, for example, following a real life aircraft. Then it's like, you know, real operations. So yeah, I just feel it's better to do the checklist as well, and it's like, yeah, the realistic touch is there as well. So alright guys, so as you can see, we are getting closer to the holding point. We probably do not need the whole length of the runway, but as you can see, there is a bit of a queue to aircraft just taking off, so we don't want to jump them, so we will go right to the end of the runway and wait for them to depart, and we will depart as number 3. Okay, so we are just about to hit the holding point. We have some aircraft, we have some airplanes landing on runway 26 left, but we don't have to worry about because that's a parallel runway, not our runway. So we just double check. Yeah, they're landing on the other one, and the Delta is airborne, so we can turn on our strobe lights, and since we're cleared for takeoff, the landing lights as well. We can turn the TCAS on. We can see the Alitalia Airbus landing right there. Bit of a rough landing though, it's alright. And we can go on and turn on the weather radar, the clock, and we are good to go. So 50%. Turn off the nose wheel steering and flex. So we have man, flex, SRS at runway, takeoff inhibit, so that's good. 100 knots. V1 and rotate. Positive rate gear up. You can see very nice shots right here. Very cool. And as you can see, we can now put the thrust levers to climb mode, and we will start slowly accelerating. We can turn on the autopilot, and as we go into the clouds, and we can, once we reach 200 knots, we can then take our flaps back in. So speed check, flaps 0. You can see there is a plane right in front of us, but it's alright. Yeah, sometimes the AI traffic is a bit messy. We can disarm the spoilers and set the standard to the by reference. As you can see, we will do a sharp turn right here, and we will head north towards Brussels Airport. We're just coming out of the clouds. Lovely scenes. Really looks amazing. And once we hit 10,000 feet, we can turn our lights off and also the seatbelt signs. So we can do that now. So landing lights, runway turn off lights, wing lights, nose lights, and the seatbelt signs. Alright. We're now climbing to our cruising altitude and heading towards Brussels. So I will get back to you when we are ready to descend. See you there. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are reaching our top of descent in about 40 nautical miles. So we need to go into our MCDU. As you can see, it already wants us to enter the destination data, and we're going to do that right now. So we need to go into the performance page and change the phase from cruise to, not to descend, but to approach. And here we need to set everything up. So the QNH in Brussels is 1018, just like in Paris. So we have to set that. The temperature is 21 degrees Celsius and the wind is 358 degrees 3 knots. So nothing too serious. And we need to set the minimums as well, and that is 302. So 302, and it's the Barrow one from the Barrow altimeter, so this one. And we are using the full flaps landing config, so we can leave that as it is. So the approach is now set up and done, and now we just wait for the top of descent, and we can start descending. Alright, so the top of descent is just around 6 nautical miles away, so we need to set the altitude we want to descend to, and that's 2,000 feet, because we need to join the glide slope at this altitude, and we can start the descent by just pressing the button, and the aircraft will automatically manage our descent towards Brussels Airport. What we also need to set is to set the outer brakes to low, and we can also turn on the seatbelt signs already, because we're descending from flight level 240, and yeah, we're just about 15 minutes away from landing, so I think that's the right time to turn them on. We are passing 10,000 feet now, so we can turn on landing lights, runway turn-off lights, wing lights, and the nose lights when the nose wheel comes out, so it will, yeah, produce some light as well from the reflectors. And we are getting closer. Okay, so the plane just started slowing down to our VREF speed, but we do not want that just already, so we will slow down to 180 knots. And we can also start deploying some flaps in just a moment. So we can now go ahead and set flaps 1, so speed check flaps 1. And we can go ahead and set flaps 2, so speed check flaps 2 as well. There we go. Now the flaps are coming out as well, as you can see on the upper ECAM. And it turns green, so everything is good. So we can go ahead and turn on the ILS display here, which you can see these 2 lines and the 2 diamonds which we need to follow. We can also zoom in on the map just a bit to see everything correctly. We can arm the spoilers, which you can see on the upper ECAM again. And we are slowly getting there. Only 6 nautical miles once we reach the enter point. Here we are, so we can turn on the localizer. The localizer will follow the horizontal diamond, and the vertical profile will follow the approach mode, which we will turn on just in a second. Okay, so we're turning onto the runway heading now. Coming alive, so that's great. That is checked. Once we reach 2,000 feet, we have to select the go around, or the go around altitude, just in case there goes something wrong during the approach. Checked. Okay, so we can now set 4,000 feet, or just prepare it. And now we're just waiting for the vertical diamond to come alive. Now it is coming towards us, so that's great. You can see the runway right there. So we can engage the approach mode now, and it will follow the diamond. We can also start slowing down to our VREF speed, so we press the speed button. As you can see, the plane is starting to slow down. Speed check flaps 3. We can lower the landing gear, so gear down. We can attend the cabin again. And speed check flaps full, because we are doing the flaps full approach as we set up earlier, if you remember. Everything is looking good. We're stabilized on the ILS, both localizer and the glide slope, so the aircraft is following it nicely. And we can now we can now disconnect the autopilot because I want to land myself. So autopilot disconnected, 3 beeps indicating that it is really off. And now I'm flying the plane towards the runway. We're sitting nicely, so that's good. I'm just now trying to follow the flight directors and the diamonds. That is checked. Sitting nicely. 2 white, 2 red, slightly to the left here, but good on the glide, so that's good. Just correcting it now.
100 above.
Slightly below the glide
200.
slope, that's right.
Minimum
Continue, touchdown zone and landing.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard 10, 5.
Bit of a rough touchdown, but we're down. Spoilers up and reverse green. And we're decelerating. $60 knots. Reversers coming in. And also manual braking. Can turn on the nose wheel steering. We can now disarm the spoilers, bring the flaps back in, and we can vacate right here. So vacating to the left because the main terminal is located on the left now. So we vacated on or at Bravo 9er. So we need to go left now. We can stop the clock. We can turn off the weather radar. TCAS. We can switch off the flight directors and the ILS. And turn off, whoops, strobe lights, landing lights, put the nose lights to taxi, and start the APU. There we go. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brussels. Flight time was 40 minutes, exactly, so the estimated flight time I was talking about earlier, somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes, was accurate, so that's good. You can see Ryanair and Brussels Airlines aircraft sitting there at the terminal. That's where we are going to park as well. So we can take this turn right here. It's not want to turn the aircraft above the ground speed of 10 knots. We're going 10 now, so that's good. Alright, so here we are. If you guys want to see more of this content, I really enjoy commenting the flight, so if you want to see more of these videos, let me know. Or if you enjoy more the cinematic and time-lapse videos, let me know as well. I would like to know your opinion, and yeah, I might do something different next time maybe, so for our next full flight video. So for example, not the exact, that's on X-Plane, but yeah, the 737, the classic one, the 300 from Captain Sim is a very good plane, so maybe we can take that one for a spin. Let me know in the comments, or get in touch via the Facebook page. And yeah, you can see 4 Brussels A320 family aircraft sitting there waiting for their next flight, and we're going to park right next to the last one, and he's sitting at stand 146. So we are going to select. It will be long way away. No. Here we go. 148. We don't want to follow me, Avia partner. I hope it is maybe Punter. Good. Okay, we can turn off the taxi lights. We're coming in nicely into our parking stand. There we go. So is this working? It is, yeah. So we need to go slightly to the left. There we go. Just, yeah, trying to park it as precisely as possible. A little bit of power. There we go. Just to keep the aircraft rolling. Fourteenth feet, we're almost there. Let's check from the outside. Yeah. And we are right here. Stop. We can set the parking brakes now. And since the APU is now available, we can turn off engine number 2, engine number 1. Turn off the TCAS as well, PVS, and we can turn off the beacon light so the crew can start working on the aircraft. We can call the jetway. There we go. And yeah, that is that. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brussels. I hope you enjoyed this flight as myself, because I really enjoyed it, so I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. As I said earlier, please let me know in the comments what you think about this concept of videos. I really like doing it, so I would like to know your feedback. And yeah, until next time, see you in another video. Bye bye.